It's been 40 years since the movie Canonball Run hit the silver screen. Don't go away. Hello everyone and welcome to Fat Guy Productions. I am Paul, coming to you as always from beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada, to partake in Devil's Details Diecast Canonball Run Challenge build. Devil asked a group of builders to participate and assigned each builder with a vehicle from the movie. I, of course, was given the ambulance. Before we get to work, I do need to share a few thoughts with you all about my build today. Some time ago, I pulled apart a casting and I stripped it for a project, and midstream I changed my mind and I went a different direction. The strip casting and the parts went into my spare parts bin, and it was forgotten until this build came along, and I realized this is the casting I wanted to use. Well, by this time the video clips from that were long deleted, and so today's build we will be jumping in the middle. The casting was already torn apart and stripped down. Second, I want to apologize to Triple D in advance because I'm not sure if the idea I'm rolling with is in keeping with the concept of the build. The movie Canonball Run is over 40 years old, and if made today, there's no chance the ambulance would be made from a plain old boring tradesman van. With that in mind, I'll be taking some creative license and making the ambulance the way I would make it. At the very least, it's going to be a lot of fun, and hopefully not a cheat. So, with all of that said, let's get rolling with my Canonball Run ambulance. For my build, I'll be using this Hot Wheels Deco delivery. The casting is super cool, and I even love the original color here. But damn, again we see there's nothing Mattel can't ruin with ugly tampos. So we pick up my build with the casting already torn down and stripped. I'm going to hit it up with some Tamiya Fine primer. I have several layers of paint to apply, and it's vital the casting is clean and well primed so the masking doesn't pull the paint off when I remove it. After the primer is thoroughly dry, I'll give the body its base color, Tamiya X2 Gloss White. I mix this with leveling thinner and X20, and then I lay down a nice smooth base color and let it dry very, very thoroughly. Once the base color is dry, I can tape off the bottom half of the van. While the bottom and top will be orange, I feel it'll be a lot easier and safer to mask and paint them separately. After putting on the masking tape, I burnish down the edges, and then I can start to lay in the Tamiya X6 Gloss Orange paint on the top of the van. It's crucial that you do this in several mist coats. That way you seal the tape edge, and this will help prevent the paint from creeping under that edge. Once I've built up enough color and feel the edge is sealed, I'll finish off the orange in my normal painting fashion with medium coats and finally wet coats. I peel the tape as soon as I finish cleaning out my airbrush. Leaving the tape on too long can lead to all sorts of issues, like a rough edge, and pulling it too soon can give you a gummy, stringy mess. I carefully and thoughtfully peel the tape off, while, yes, holding my breath, and my patience is rewarded with a great finish. I'll let this layer of paint cure thoroughly, and then I'll mask off the top and paint the bottom of the body. So far, I'm feeling very gratified as this is coming out really, really cool. I hope I just don't screw it up going forward. With the masking tape off, I noticed a small bit of orange that wormed its way under the tape and onto the white. I just moistened the cotton bud and lightly rubbed it away, and I'm glad to say it came off perfectly. I'd have to say, I dodged a giant bullet right there. So, with the paint thoroughly dry, I've now masked off the top of the ambulance, and I can go back to the paint booth, and following the same painting methods, I can paint the lower part of the ambulance orange. Again, lots and lots of very, very light coats so you don't get paint seeping underneath the tape. It would really suck to blow this right now. Okay, the paint is on. This here, it's the moment of truth. If this comes out good, it should be smooth sailing for the rest of the build. So, I'm going to pull the tape slowly and hold my breath. Success, success, success. The sweet feel of success. It looks great. Everything I was hoping for here. The paint job is looking great. It's exactly the way I envisioned it. I'm feeling really good about things right now. Referencing some pictures on the internet, I turned to Adobe Illustrator and I replicated the markings for my ambulance. I then printed the decals on my HP laser printer with the ghost white toner, and I can now lay down the markings. Waterslide decals are super easy to apply. Dip them into the water and slide the art onto the body. It is really a great thing to have the ability to make my own decals, because honestly, builds like this just wouldn't really be that feasible. Being able to make my own decals opens so many doors for me. I can do all the custom builds I want to do. If I have a decal and it doesn't fit quite right, I can make a new one. If I don't like something, I can change it. Anything I want to do. And in the end, it just is wonderful to be able to print decals. With the decals on, the ambulance is really starting to look the part. So now I can take the casting over to the paint booth and lock everything down with a nice layer of urethane clear coat from Brightvision. It's imperative. Make sure everything is super dry and cured. If it isn't and you put clear coat over it, it could bubble up later and ruin your project. I have a modern day V-shaped light bar from a donor vehicle. The back for me is a bit too deep, so with my razor saw I'm going to lop off the back. I'll check the fit and it should be perfect. I'll put it on a bit later. As mentioned, this was a casting I started some time ago, and I never drilled out the post. I didn't notice it here until just now. So, I get the stress of drilling it out now, praying the entire time I don't mess up the fresh paint job. First, I'll drill out the post, Then I'll tap it. Then I'll test fit a screw to make sure I'm ready for reassembly. Everything looks great, so I can now put the car back together and screw her down. Trouble. I glued on the light bar to the roof, and now I'm gluing red gems to the front for emergency lights, only for me to now discover I hate the way the light bar looks. Begrudgingly, I'm going to have to pop the bar off, praying not to destroy the paint. I didn't. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to break the lights off the bar and glue them on one at a time. Had I had better vision, I would have removed the marker lights on the casting at the very beginning, but I didn't. In the end, they're going to make great bases for the individual lights, and it ends up looking really cool. So, with a dab of my Loctite super glue on each marker, I then placed the alternating lights on the roof. That worked out really great, and I gotta tell you, I'm glad I did it this way, because I really hated the entire light bar up there. It might have worked if I had gotten rid of the marker lights first. I didn't, so I hated it. This ends up working out pretty good. I'm in the home stretch here, and I'm about to tackle some detailing. Triple D will tell you, the devil is in the details. So don't skimp on this part. I'm going to start with some black Tamiya panel liner, and I'm going to put it on the grill. And then there's a small fan on the roof, and I'm going to put a little of the panel liner on there to emphasize that. Once that's all done, then I'm going to turn to some paints.
Just plain old walking is a source of a lot of experience we'd recognize. Of course, we walk pretty well.
I'll use some flat black for the exhaust tips. I'll use some white for the headlights. And I'm going to use some clear red for the tail lights. And then, hey, I can call this build done. In the end, this one came out exactly as I saw it in my mind's eye, and I'm really loving it. I hope you all love it too. Well, here it is, my Canonball Run ambulance for Devil's Details Diecast Canonball Run Challenge build. I think it came out excellent, and I hope you enjoyed this slightly different video. If you like this one, please give it a thumbs up, click subscribe, and be sure to click the notification bell so you never miss a single one of my diecast builds. If you have any questions or comments, as always, leave them down below. I love to hear from all of you. It really just makes my day. I look forward to all of the comments, even the bad ones. Always remember, the secret of change is to focus all of your energy, not on fighting the old, but on building the new. Until next time, this is Paul from Fat Guy Productions, saying be good.